And ministers are being urged to say "I do" to proposed cash incentives for getting married. Campaigners for the Marriage Foundation have urged the change after their research revealed UK marriage rates dropped to a shocking 16% between 2010 and 2019, sending us from 17th to 25th in the European rankings for most couples tying the knot. Arguing the UK, quote, actively discourages marriage via financial disincentives, including the loss of up to £10,000 in benefits for lower-income couples, they proposed following European leader Hungary, whose marriage rates leapt 92% between 2010 and 2020 after offering an array of bonuses. These include a 2-year income tax reduction for newlyweds and a £28,000 payment towards a home if a married couple promises to have 3 children. Spouses where the wife is aged between 18 and 40 can also access a no-strings-attached £25,000 loan, with repayments suspended or reduced if they have children and written off entirely once they have 3. So, with the cost of living crisis worsening and Britain's welfare system currently discriminating against couples that tie the knot, should the government start providing money incentives to get married? What do you think? Down at gbnews.uk, tweet me at GBNews, vote in our poll there too. But first to debate this, celebrity hairstylist Nicky Clark and his wife Kelly Simpkin-Clark, superstar panellist, former Tory London mayoral candidate and Marriage Foundation supporter Sean Bailey, TV firebrand Kim Woodburn and the presenter Jenny Barnett. So, Sean, given this is something that you support politically, can you just explain how this would work?
Well, let's look at the benefits of marriage. Married people live longer, spend less time in jail, spend less time in prison and pay more taxes. They provide us with children to pay everybody's pension and, of course, their mental health is better. Now, none of this is my opinion. These are all well-researched facts. And this isn't about you're better because you're married or a choice we're forcing people to make. This is about rewarding an institution that rewards the entirety of society, even if you're not married. So that's a sort of big picture as to why we should be doing this. And when you look at the effects that the pandemic had, particularly on young people, we should remember that married couples, the children of married couples, have better mental health as well. And in this current climate, I think that's very, very useful.
Nicky Clark and Kelly, so you've actually been together, I think, for 16 years, right?
Yeah.
But you actually only got married in November, so congratulations for that. But what took you so long? And do you think if there had been financial incentives, maybe you would have tied the knot earlier?
I mean, I can't see the financial incentive being anything, to do with it. I mean, from my own point of view, I mean, I'm not particularly pro-marriage. I mean, it's kind of odd for me to be sitting here, and having my wife next to me. But, it really was. There was a point when, you get to a certain point in your life at a certain age, and, we have 2 young children as well. And, I certainly didn't want to be in a position where, we'd been together for so long, and yet actually if something had happened to me, she would have been treated not really, as a wife would be treated. So, she would have suffered from that point of view. So, I'm a traditionalist at heart, but actually when it comes to marriage, it's not really something that I'm bothered about. And I think it probably, was something that you...
I certainly was bothered about it before we had children. And then actually, as soon as we had children, it wasn't a priority for me. But I think the fact that we did it once we had 2 children and they were present at the wedding was even more special. So I'm glad that we did wait.
Do you like this European concept, Nicky and Kelly, of if you have 3 kids, you get all of these tax benefits? And money, too, cash in hand.
Yeah, it's kind of just there's a kind of a sprinkling of communist China about things, but in the opposite. It's almost, I don't like the idea of the state being in control of anything. However, I would think that was quite a lucrative offer for people, and it's certainly shown by the 90% increase that they've had. So I think that's fine. I mean, I've always known that there are going to be tax benefits and advantages of being married, but I do think that the idea of a stable environment, that can be done in lots of different ways. And I think we see that as a modern society. You have civil partnerships, you have same-sex marriages, and, I'm in total agreement of having something that formalises that in some way. But the idea of marriage, it's not really my thing.
I think think the cost of living has increased dramatically over recent years, and I think that's probably a reason why.
Well, it will
many
likely see
couples-
marriages slump, won't it?
Exactly. Well, so I think if there was an incentive to help people, maybe get a mortgage or something, maybe they would consider it.
Jenny Barnett, I believe you think this idea is mad, paying folk to get married.
It's not so much mad. I think monetising relationships in 2022, and you're talking about Hungary, and our man in Hungary is not the most decent human being in the world, as we know, but I want to know why the government want to do it. Why do they want to spend money on doing this when they could be spending money on child poverty, on teachers, on nurses, on schools, on railwaymen? Why do they want to give money for people to get married? Why?
Kim Woodburn, can you understand it?
Hello, I'm so sorry, dear. Well, you see, frankly, I agree with this lady. You shouldn't have to pay people to get married. And I'll tell you something. People won't get married if they don't want to. And it's only, what is it, £500 we're giving, is it? Is that what? It was set up by Sir Paul Coleridge, wasn't it? He was a former judge. And he set up the Marriage Foundation. And I think he says, if you get married, he'll give you £500. Oh, goodness me, it's like tuppence. Don't be so childish, it's foolish. And people have said to me, when I said you've got children, I'm quite, why haven't you married? And there's so many reasons. Some will say, I don't believe in marriage. I don't want to marry. I've no interest in getting married at all. And then you're going to get those people, you're going to encourage all these people that are living together. And, look at the single mothers. They've got children. Right. The government are already supplying them with the housing, with so many benefits. And a lot of these girls do have boyfriends that live with them. They don't tell the people about, so they're living very well. If you think for 500 quid, she's going to give up the man she lives with, she doesn't tell anybody about, and lose a few £100 a week that the government are paying her, thinking she's a single mum, you've got to be nuts.
Sean Bailey, so are you nuts, Sean? This is a silly idea, according to Kim.
Let's take up some of these points. First and foremost, you two have the most fabulous hair I've ever seen. As a bald man, I can truly say you have.
Well, you would expect that. It would be pretty bad if they didn't, right?
So the next thing is, you talk about monetising relationships. Well, you've already monetised parenthood. You get child benefit. And the reason you get child benefit is because it pays back more to society than we pay to it. And you're completely correct. The money will not make people get married. This isn't about making people get married. This is about supporting an institution that supports us all. Gay, straight, young, old, married or not, it supports us all. That's why you'd want to do it. And if you want to talk about the cost of living...
Kim, what's that? You're disagreeing, Kim?
Hold on. The only cost that we would have is the biggest our fuel bill is our house bill.
OK, Sean, let Kim come in and then I'll let you come back. Kim, why?
There are many, as you don't get out much, families that are fleecing the government blind. Now stop it, they are. They've got boyfriends living with them who work full time. They haven't declared it to the government. Her situation was she didn't have a boyfriend, so they give her all sorts of payments. The young man moves in. He's earning a damn good salary. She does not inform the people, and she said, we're not getting married. My God, I've got his wages, and I've got all this government money. Oh, stop it, grow up.
Sean?
But listen, people who are being dishonest are being dishonest. That's their business. There's lots of reasons you can look at it. Firstly, there's what it does for your own family in your own home. It gives a much more stable environment. Married people separate much less than cohabiting people. So your children and yourself don't need to go through that pain. Older married people cost much less to exist, so they have more for their family. They take away less money from the state because we don't have to provide an extra home for them. If you look at one of the
Jenny, Sean, just let Jenny come in. Jenny Barnett.
Yeah. Why then, since 2020, have married couples fallen to 49%? What do you think the reason is that people don't want to get married? Not
good question. Good question, Sean.
That's the next question. Part of it is because of how we talk about marriage. And when people think about marriage, there's two mistakes they make. They always talk about how much people break up. And again, marriage people separate far less than cohabiting people. And of course, people look at it as an old-fashioned institution. And if you see your parents get married, it might not be something that you want to do. But the point is, it doesn't degrade the fact that marriage works for everybody on every level. It's become a social justice issue. The better off.
Sean, just let Jenny and Kim come in. Sean, just let Jenny and Kim come back.
Listen, statistically, like our hairdressers who live together for 16 years, people who live together stay together because they want to. Statistically, there's nothing holding them to stay together. You get married and all of a sudden you've got a ring, you become part of an institution and you become part of a system that does not work. What is in it for the government when they want people to get married? What do they want?
I'm sorry, you're wrong. You are wrong.
You've had your say.
Married people.
Sean, just let Kim come back. Sean, let Kim come in.
Go on, Kim.
If you want to get married, get married. Bless anybody. Yeah. Nikki, bless anybody, it's up to them. But I'll tell you what, for a lot of people, my love, there's too much financial incentive to live over the brush, dear, which millions and millions are doing.
Okay.
I'm not telling you you're wrong, but let's get some facts correct. Married people stay together far more than cohabiting people. That's a statistical fact.
Okay. No, I accept that. I want to give the final word. I want to give the final word to Nikki and Kelly, given you are our newly married couple. Has it been worth it? Has it changed your relationship? Any regrets? Or do you wish you'd actually done this 16 years ago now?
No, I mean, for me, not at all. I mean, nothing has changed. And I mean, and it's a kind of an odd one for us to be part of this kind of debate, because actually, when we were doing it, it was actually because it was Kelly's birthday party. It was a 40th party.
I love that.
You know, let's just make it a wedding instead and do it that way. So, you know, I don't have that kind of reverence for it at all. And I think, you know, what we've been listening to in terms of, you know, people living together, I think that is the way forward personally. But it actually suited us to be married, you know, in terms of because of our children.
And our children were super excited and they loved the day. So
of course, you've got to do it for them. Got to do it for them. Well, look, congratulations again. That was celebrity hairstylist Nicky Clark, his wife Kelly Simkin Clark, superstar panelist, former Tory London mayoral candidate, and Marriage Foundation supporter Sean Bailey. Sean will be back on the sofa on Thursday night. And thank you too to TV firebrand Kim Woodburn and another TV firebrand, actually, Jenny Barnett. Great to have you, Jenny, too. Thank you so much, all. So who do you agree with? Should the government provide money incentives to get married? From Kevin on Twitter, why does it even matter? A lot of people are happy enough just being together without the legally binding contract. From Ali, for goodness sake, I think we have far more important things to spend taxpayers' money on, so absolutely 100% no. But Dexter says, I would normally say no, but the family structure is so broken in this country. And your verdict is now in. 31% of you agree that the government should offer financial incentives to couples wanting to get married. 69% of you say they shouldn't.